The birth of a game-changer. In the mid-1960s, international racing was a brutal battlefield where engineering, money, and national pride collided on circuits across Europe and America. Porsche had carved out a reputation for precision engineering, lightweight design, and relentless dominance in endurance events. Ferrari had its fiery Italian stallions, while American automakers were still considered outsiders, big, loud, and unsophisticated. But one man, Dan Gurney, believed otherwise. A tall Californian with the charisma of a movie star and the genius of an engineer, Gurney wasn't content just to drive. He wanted to design, innovate, and beat the Europeans at their own game. Partnering with British cylinder head expert Harry Weslake, Gurney set out to unlock the hidden potential of Ford's already potent 289 cubic inch V8. The base 289, born from Ford's small block family, was strong and reliable but considered too Detroit for European finesse. Westlake's mastery in airflow dynamics, coupled with Gurney's relentless push for performance, transformed the 289 into something that could challenge, and even silence, the likes of Porsche. The result was the Gurney Weslake 289, a snarling V8 that combined American torque with European sophistication. This was more than an engine. It was a statement: America could build world-class racing machinery that could take on Stuttgart, Medina, and Coventry, and win. Engineering genius meets racing spirit. The genius of the Gurney Weslake 289 lay not in brute force alone but in refinement. Ford's standard 289 V8 already had strong bones, a cast-iron block, a short stroke that loved to rev, and a rugged bottom end. But its heads, designed for mass-produced sedans and Mustangs, choked airflow at high RPM. That's where Harry Weslake entered the picture. Weslake, already famous for his work with Jaguar and Aston Martin, reimagined the cylinder heads. Using advanced porting techniques and reshaped combustion chambers, he gave the Ford the 5.8 the breathing capacity of a pure racing engine. Valves grew larger, ports were widened and polished, and compression ratios climbed. Suddenly, this humble American small block could rev like a European thoroughbred, screaming past 7,000 RPM while making over 400 horsepower. Dan Gurney, ever the perfectionist, didn't stop there. He experimented with fuel delivery, camshaft profiles, and exhaust headers until the engine produced not just raw power but usable, track-ready performance. The Gurney Weslake 289 became a perfect balance of torque and revs, a motor that could launch a car out of corners with American muscle, then stretch its legs on straights with European smoothness. When bolted into lightweight, aerodynamic sports cars like the Lola T70 and Ford GT40, the Gurney Weslake transformed these machines into Porsche-killers. Stuttgart's flat-six engines were sophisticated, but they simply couldn't match the raw pace of a properly tuned 289 roaring down Le Mans Mulsanne straight. For the first time, Porsche's precision dominance faced a brutal, charismatic rival from across the Atlantic. The late 1960s were a golden era of racing wars, and nowhere was this battle more dramatic than at endurance events like the 24 Hours of Le Mans and the 24 Hours of Daytona. Porsche entered with its lightweight 906s and 910s, machines that danced through corners with surgical precision. Their flat-six engines were efficient, reliable, and consistent, perfect for endurance racing. But when the Gurney Weslake powered Fords and Lolas arrived, the atmosphere shifted. These cars didn't just hum, they thundered. The sound of the 289 was a rolling declaration that Porsche's reign would not go unchallenged. At Daytona, Sebring, and eventually Le Mans, the Gurney Weslake engine gave American and British teams the firepower to run nose-to-nose with Porsche. Where Porsche relied on finesse, the 289 offered a brutal blend of power and reliability. Long straights that once favored Porsche's high-revving 6 now became hunting grounds for Ford's V8, which thundered past with nearly 100 extra horsepower. The ultimate silencing came in 1967 at Le Mans, when Ford's GT40 Mk4, backed by the development of engines like the Gurney Weslake 289, crushed the competition. Porsche's precision machines, though valiant, could not keep pace with the raw fury of Ford's V8s. Dan Gurney himself, partnered with A.J. Foyt, piloted the Mk4 to an overall victory, an iconic triumph that not only silenced Porsche but also redefined global motorsport. It wasn't just the win that mattered, it was how they won. Gurney and Westlake's engine proved that American engineering, when combined with European refinement, could dominate the highest levels of racing. Porsche, Ferrari, and the rest of Europe had been put on notice. The Americans had arrived, and they were here to stay. Legacy of the Gurney Weslake 289. Today, the Ford 289 Gurney Weslake engine is remembered as more than a piece of machinery. It is a symbol of innovation, determination, and international collaboration. It represents the moment when American horsepower fused with European engineering elegance to create something extraordinary. Collectors and historians view surviving Gurney Weslake engines as holy relics of motorsport. They are rare, expensive, and revered, not only for their performance but also for their role in shifting the balance of racing power in the 1960s. The engine's roar still echoes in vintage racing events, where fans close their eyes and swear they can feel the ghosts of Daytona, Sebring, and Le Mans. For Porsche, the challenge of the Gurney Weslake 289 forced a new era of development. Stuttgart doubled down, evolving from its small displacement sixes to the mighty 917 program, which would later dominate Le Mans. In this way, the Ford engine that silenced Porsche also spurred Porsche to reach greater heights. It was rivalry at its finest, each side pushing the other to achieve the impossible. As for Dan Gurney, his dual role as driver and innovator cemented his legacy as one of America's greatest motorsport figures. He didn't just drive fast cars, he built them, improved them, and challenged conventions. The Gurney Weslake 289 was his masterpiece, a perfect marriage of brains, courage, and passion. The story of the Gurney Weslake 289 isn't just about silencing Porsche. It's about proving that barriers, whether national, technological, or cultural, can be broken when bold ideas meet relentless execution. It's about the roar of a V8 echoing across Europe, reminding the racing world that greatness doesn't belong to one country, one philosophy, or one style of engineering. It belongs to those willing to innovate, risk, and chase glory. And in the 1960s, nobody embodied that spirit more than Dan Gurney and the legendary Ford 289 Gurney Weslake engine.